Hey y'all, so way back in 2017, I created this custom 3D printed case that also used MakerBeam extrusions. And after 6 years, this is the update that I wanted to share with y'all. And if you're interested in building the case yourself, I'm going to provide the files for free. And that's why I'm calling this case the FreeBeam. And if you want to learn how to actually build it, make sure you stick around to the end. For the size of the cooler and the 5800X3D that I used, the temperatures are where I expected them to be. I even undervolted the CPU to help things out. I would suggest using a lower power CPU unless you make changes that I will preview in the end. The Intel Arc A770 seems to be performing normally, and I may try flipping the bottom 92mm fan to exhaust. Do you think it'll help temperatures? Let me know what you think in the comments below. But I'm happy to report that I was able to play Cyberpunk for hours without the case melting at least. With the power button behind the front panel out of sight, you might be wondering, how do I turn this on? Just slowly caress the front panel until you reach the bottom edge. And once you're down there, place your finger in the middle and press up. It might take a few tries, but eventually you'll get the hang of it and always turn it on. I 3D printed the parts on my thick boy Chi-D-Tech X Max 3 using PETG carbon fiber filament. It edged for about 22 hours using roughly 500 grams of filament to print all the parts. And you'll be happy to know that this project can be printed on smaller print beds with 180 by 180 by 180 print volumes, like the Bambu Labs A1 Mini and Prusa Mini. And you can use any filament you want as long as it's not PLA. With full consent, I'm going to be penetrating these parts with heat inserts. This hot shaft in my hand is set to 300 degrees Celsius and it has a custom tip just for heat inserts. The first part we're going to be penetrating is the back panel, and it's going to take 5 heat inserts. The second part we're penetrating is this part here, and it's going to take 3 heat inserts. This one's going to be a little tricky because I have to come at it at an angle. When I upload these free files, I'll probably change the CAD so you have more room to work with a soldering iron. I'm now going to slide 4 inserts into this one piece. This little GPU bracket is only going to take 1 heat insert. So this petite power supply and motherboard mount is going to be taking just 1 heat insert. So all these holes are filled now, and so we can move on to actually putting the case together. After doing some dry fitting off camera, I realized that this was measured wrong and therefore printed wrong. Luckily I designed this part separately because it actually had me worried in terms of the dimensions, and that all came true. And I also did design it separately so that when you print your own case and you have a different riser cable, you can easily adapt one for yourself. And now I'm going to show you how I'm going to remove these heat inserts and place them in the new part. That way we don't throw away the whole thing, we just throw away the plastic parts that aren't going to be used anymore. So to take out the heat inserts, I'm just going to take my soldering iron again and heat it up. And once it's warm enough, I should be able to tilt the soldering iron so that it can kind of pull it out like so. And this is also a good method to adjust any heat inserts that are improperly installed. To make this installation easier, I'm actually going to take off the melted plastic all around the heat insert, but it is optional. And to do that, I'm going to slide this into the soldering iron and let that get warm. And then I'm gonna take this brass brush that I have and clean it off by stroking it towards me. And make sure you wear eye protection. With the heat inserts cleaned off and the soldering iron warm, I'm gonna install the heat inserts into the new part. And now we have the revised bracket and we didn't have to waste any heat inserts. The first step in putting this PC together is to attach the power supply to the front panel. Then we're going to attach the bracket that attaches to the power supply and the motherboard. And then we'll attach the 300mm MakerBeam extrusions. On each part that interfaces with the extrusions, you'll notice a little protrusion that'll help guide the beam. You can slide in one of the T-slots before you place it on. When I bought my kit, it came with this cool little screwdriver, but you can use a little Allen key as well. And then just tighten it down. And repeat that for the other sides. And then we can slide in another T-nut to stabilize the power supply. And while we have the parts like this, it's a good time to put in the rest of the T-nuts. It's going to be pretty complicated, but essentially there's going to be a lot we have to put in, and I'll put a diagram when I put the files up for free. Because any parts that attach to these extrusions are going to need these T-nuts. Now I'll be installing the bracket that holds the motherboard and the PCI Express bracket. You shouldn't tighten these down all the way because we do have to move it just a little bit later on. As you can see, I've already installed the CPU, the heatsink and fan, my RAM, and my NVMe drive. And as you can see, my RAM is pretty tall, so I'll have to install this in a pretty weird way. If you have shorter RAM, you'll have an easier time installing the components. To avoid installing it the way I'm doing it, you can just install the motherboard without the CPU and the RAM. We can then start installing the back panel. And don't forget to install the I/O shield like I almost did. And the rear panel should self-locate using these little protrusions on each corner. And it's already looking like a PC. So this piece will attach to the case and then attach to the riser cable. I made it separate to this bracket here because I wanted to make sure that if you are using a PCI Express riser that's different than mine, you can then just focus on just designing one for yourself, and that way you don't have to design the entire part down here. And this will just simply screw in from the bottom. Now is a good time to install the riser cable. With the riser installed, we can now install the GPU. I'm used to small things in my life, and that's why when I designed this case, I wanted to be as small as possible, but still be powerful. Unfortunately, that also meant that I can only fit 2-slot GPUs inside this case. With the GPU in place, we can then install the GPU retention bracket. Remember that I kept these screws pretty loose because I wanted to be able to have some wiggle room while I'm installing all the components. But now that the components are in, we can then tighten them. If you've seen my other videos, you're probably wondering, why haven't I seen any feet yet? Well, good things come to those who wait, and so I present to you feet. The feet are going to connect to the T-nuts at each corner of the case. The only thing really missing to make a functional PC at this moment are the cables. But the side panels, the top panel, those are all optional. If you want to just use a case just like this, that's totally possible. With the power supply, motherboard, and video card installed, it's now time to install the power cables. For a case this small, you don't want to run the most powerful components, but if you are going to be running some hotter components, I do have the option to install a fan bracket down below. The MakerBeam rails allow you to choose where you want to install the bracket. I'm going to be placing it right over here. Using some normal fan screws, I'm going to attach the bracket to the fan now. Now we can attach the fan and the bracket using the T-nuts we installed a while ago. To turn the system on, I'll be using this power switch that you can easily buy on Amazon. I probably should have installed the switch before installing the fan, but I think it's still possible. The switch should lock and slide into this little slot right over here. The last thing I need to do inside the case is install the power cable. So now I'm going to slide in this power connector through this tight little hole. And then we just screw it in. Next, I'm going to slide in this end into the power supply. Off camera, I was checking out some things on the system and found out that the RGB on my RAM was broken. This little wire broke off on the RGB strip. With the working RGB strip, I then removed it from the RAM heatsink and installed it on the PC. So down below here, you'll see that I created new brackets to hold the RGB strip in place. This is just an example of the customization you can do using the MakerBeam platform. The optional side panels I designed for this case need to have magnets installed, and that's what I'll do now. I'm going to be pressing in these 5x3mm magnets. And as a safety precaution, make sure not to put these in your mouth or let kids play with them. They can be really dangerous. Off camera, I've already pressed one in, but it was good to know that I don't need to use any glue to put these in. There's enough friction inside this hole for it to stay in. To push these magnets in, I'm going to be using my screwdriver with this blunt attachment. To install the magnets, all I need to do is place it on the end of the screwdriver and push it into place. And just like that, the magnets are in. The stock screws that come with a MakerBeam kit aren't very attracted to magnets. And that's why I bought these separate screws that are more attracted to magnets. And these attractive screws are going to be screwing into the T-nuts located inside the case. So we're going to have two near the middle and then a T-nut on each end. And they don't have to be fully tightened, they just need to be in place because we can tighten them down later. For now, we want them almost self-locating. And now we can use one of the side panels, or in this case the top panel, to find out where it needs to be. And technically you can just leave it at that. So now I'm just going to screw in the rest of the side panels. So with the side panels and the top panel on, the case is pretty much done. But that's the end of the build tutorial. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments.